Hello and welcome to this A1 Beginner Lesson 35 with me, Kate. Today we will be looking at question words, specifically WH questions. Before we begin, I want us to look at some vocabulary that will help us in today's class. Listen and repeat. Astronaut, astronaut. Earth, earth. Space, space. Space shuttle, space shuttle. A spacewalk, a spacewalk. Bed, bed. Sleeping bag, sleeping bag. Playing cards, playing cards. Okay, so this is Tim Peake. Tim Peake was the first British astronaut to visit the International Space Station. He spent 6 months in space. Today we're going to find out a bit more about Tim Peake. Here we have some questions and answers, but they are not in the correct order. Let's first have a look at the questions that were posed to Tim Peake. Number 1. How many astronauts are there on the space shuttle? 2. Where do you sleep? Number 3. When do you sleep? Number 4. What can you do in your free time? Number 5. Who do you talk to on Earth? Number 6. Why do you like working in space? And here are the answers that Tim Peake gave, but remember, they are not in the correct order. A. We talk to the people at the European Space Agency every day, and sometimes we can talk to our families. B. Because it's a very interesting job, and it's very beautiful up there. C. Sometimes there are 4, sometimes 7. D. We play cards, read books, or we can go for a spacewalk. E. There aren't any beds, so we sleep in special sleeping bags. F. There is no night or day in space, so we sleep when it is night time at the European Space Agency in Paris. Okay, now I would like you to match the questions with the answers. Correspond the questions with the answer that was given by Tim Peake. If need be, pause the video and take your time. Okay, how did you get on? What are the answers to these questions? Number 1. How many astronauts are there on the space shuttle? Sometimes there are 4, sometimes 7. Number 2. Where do you sleep? There aren't any beds, so we sleep in special sleeping bags. Number 3. When do you sleep? There is no night or day in space, so we sleep when it is night time at the European Space Agency in Paris. Number 4. What can you do in your free time? We play cards, read books, or we can go for spacewalks. Number 5. Who do you talk to on Earth? We talk to the people at the European Space Agency every day, and sometimes we can talk to our families. And finally, number 6. Why do you like working in space? Because it's a very interesting job and it's very beautiful up there. Well done. Okay, you can see here we have some question words, most of them beginning with WH. Where, when, what, who, why, and we've also included how many. So, can we match the question word to the subject? So, which question word do I use when I'm talking about a person? Or when I'm talking about a place, a time, a thing, a number, or a reason? So I want you to have a look at these questions and the correct answers. Think about these question words and these subjects. Can we match the question words with the subject? So first of all, what? We use what when we're talking about a thing. Let's see. So what can you do in your free time? We play cards, read books, or we can go for a spacewalk. These are all things and activities. Who? We use who when we're talking about a person or people. So who do you talk to on Earth? We talk to the people at the European Space Agency every day, and sometimes we talk to our families. So there's general people and also our families here. What about where? We use that for a place. So here we can see, where do you sleep? There aren't any beds, so we sleep in special sleeping bags. What about when? We use that to talk about a time. When do you sleep? There is no night or day in space, so we sleep when it's night time at the European Space Agency in Paris. Why? We use why when we're looking for a reason. Why do you like working in space? Because it's a very interesting job and it's very beautiful up there. Very often, the answer to why questions begin with the word because. How many? We're looking for a number here. So how many astronauts are there on the space shuttle? Sometimes there are 4, sometimes 7. Well done. Okay, so what I've got here are some more questions that were posed to Tim Peake. But here, you need to decide what the correct question word is. To help you, down here we've got the question word and when we use it. A thing, a person, a place, a time, a reason, and a number. So let's have a look. Number 1, the answer is in Chichester, England. That's a place. What's the question? Where do you live? Okay, number 2, the answer is my wife and children. They're people. So what's the question? Who do you live with? Okay, question 3, the answer is Rebecca. What's the question? What's your wife's name? Number 4, the answer is she's a teacher. What's the question? What's her job? Number 5, the answer is 2. What's the question? How many children do you have? Number 6, the answer is they're 10 and 13. What's the question? How old are your children? And number 7, the answer is because every day we learn something new. What's the question? Absolutely. It's why do you like working at the European Space Agency? Well done. Okay, now we're going to have a look at the structure of those question phrases. So we've got some here. Where do you sleep? When do you sleep? Who do you talk to on Earth? And why do you like working in space? When we're asking an open question in English, that is to say, it begins with a question word, it's followed by an auxiliary verb, in this case do, then the subject, and then the verb. Okay, it's worth noting, we can have different auxiliary verbs. If we look here, the question is, what can you do in your free time? What's possible to do? Also, do remember that when we ask questions using the verb to be, we do not use an auxiliary verb. There's none here. So, how many astronauts are there? It's also worth noting that when we're asking how many, usually how many is followed by a noun. How many astronauts are there? Okay, so can you make some questions? Here I have some words and phrases. They're all jumbled up. Can you rearrange them to make a question? What's this first one? What do you do at the weekend? Okay, so I've got my question word, my auxiliary verb do, my subject, you, my verb do. What do you do at the weekend? Next one, what question can you make? So where do you go for your holidays? So here I've got my question word where, my auxiliary verb do, my subject you, my verb go. Where do you go for your holidays? What about this one? Can you make a question? How many people are there in your family? So I've got my question words, how many, but the verb in this question is are. So there is no need for an auxiliary verb. And the word after how many is a noun, people. What's your favourite TV programme? Again, this question contains the verb to be, is here contracted. So there's no auxiliary verb. What's your favourite TV programme? Well done. That's it for today. Instead of me asking you a question, can you ask me a question? Please leave it in the comments below. I'd love to answer them if I can. Don't forget to subscribe and show your support. And coming next in lesson 36, we will be looking at some really big numbers. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.